In this forecast video, we're covering a resurgence of severe weather in the Midwest, as well as taking a big look at possible upcoming Hurricane Fiona. Alrighty, welcome back into another more weather forecast video. Let's dive right into the severe weather forecast today. And as you can see, we do have two slight risk areas for today in the Midwest. We do have one slight risk area just to the east of Fargo here and north of Minneapolis. That's where we'll have our greatest tornado potential here. As you can see, we do have a 5% chance of tornadoes there just to the north of Minneapolis in that slight risk highlighted area. We do have another slight risk highlighted area down here near Des Moines and to the east of Omaha and Lincoln, Nebraska here. Main threats will be wind and hail, but we can't rule out a tornado in both of these areas. But our biggest tornado threat will be in the northern Minnesota slight risk area, not in the Iowa slight risk area, as we are looking at clusters of storms to move through this area as we go into later today, and these will be severe, so we are going to have to watch this. We haven't seen much slight risk of severe weather. We haven't seen much significant severe weather for a while here, so we are kind of seeing a resurgence of severe weather here, as we do have two areas of a slight risk today, as well as a slight risk for severe weather for tomorrow. This will include Des Moines, Peoria, and Hannibal, as well as Springfield. Des Moines is expected to see 2 days of slight risk severe weather, so if you live in Des Moines or over here in southern Iowa, do expect some severe weather as we go into today and into tomorrow. 2 rounds of severe weather, but this will move a little bit to the east, and this again will include the borders of Iowa, Missouri, and Illinois here. Again, Peoria, Hannibal, Springfield, all areas that could be affected by this, as well as Des Moines. We do still have a 5% chance of tornadoes here on the border of Missouri, Iowa, and Illinois there, so watching the Quad Cities there for a chance of severe weather. And again, we can't rule out a tornado, but not very likely. I do expect we could see a few tornadoes, but not many. We do have a 15% chance of wind and a 15% chance of hail, so again, gotta always watch that damaging wind and hail as well. So let's time out these storms on the NAM model. So as we go into later today, by the time we get into around, I'd say, 5 o'clock tonight, as we go into that time frame, we are expecting these storms to start firing up here, and this could be pretty significant storms, especially down here in Iowa. Expect some severe storms. These will be rainmakers and of course severe storms, so we gotta expect a tornado potential as these storms do start to fire off. But as we go later into the night here on Saturday, we do see that cluster storms up here in Minnesota moving into Duluth by the time we get into around 10 p.m. So this will be late in the night today, and we do see those storms going through central Iowa up into northern Iowa, so Waterloo, Iowa Falls here into Des Moines. We are expecting some storms to go through there, so just watch out for that if you're in Iowa. Main risk and threat will be wind and hail, but again, this isn't a blockbuster storm system, so we aren't expecting too much. But by the time those storms start going into Illinois and Wisconsin as we go into early morning Sunday, we do expect them to weaken a bit, but we could see a resurgence of some sub-severe storms up here in Michigan as these storms do go over Lake Michigan. By the time we go into early Sunday morning, we do expect these to weaken off. So let's look at our, again, second risk of severe weather for tomorrow. Again, that will include Des Moines, Peoria, Hannibal, and Springfield over here in Illinois, southern Iowa, and northeastern Missouri here. So let's time those storms out. So as we go into later on Sunday, so both of these events are going to be happening in the nighttime. As we go into around 5 p.m. again, or as we go into later past 6 p.m., 5 p.m. is when these storms really are, we're going to see a sign of storms start to popping up. But by the time we go into 7, 8 p.m., that's when these storms really start to fire off. So by the time we go into 8 p.m., so pretty late storms here in the day. We're going into the evening when these storms really start to get their act together. So as we see these storms really start to pop off, that's when we're going to see our biggest chance for tornadoes over here in Illinois and Iowa, as well as a little sliver of Missouri, but again, the tornado threat isn't huge here. I'm not expecting a big tornado threat. If we come out of these 2 days with no tornadoes, I wouldn't be surprised. But again, as we go into around 9 p.m., we do expect these storms to have a pretty big wind threat to them. So wind threat will be the main threat here, risk for Illinois as we go into later tonight, or into tomorrow night, into tomorrow night. We do see this clusters of storms, so maybe sub-severe storms as well over here in Michigan as we go into late tomorrow night. So say 10 p.m., 11 p.m., we do see this cluster storms move through Illinois, but as we go into early morning on Monday, we do see these storms weaken as they go into Indiana and Ohio. Maybe some strong storms and rainmakers here over here in northwestern Indiana as we go into Monday morning, but those storms do start to weaken out as we go here into Monday morning. So again, we do have 2 areas of severe weather as we go into today and into tomorrow. We're gonna have to watch that as we are seeing some more severe weather in the Midwest. So the last thing we're going to look at in this video is Tropical Storm Fiona. And as you can see here, this did just affect the Leeward Islands. We have tropical storm watches in Puerto Rico, as well as hurricane watches in Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, as this is expected to strengthen as it heads towards the Dominican Republic and could become a Category 1 hurricane and go off to the north. Now, for recently, the models have been all over the place, but lately, very recently, we have seen the models start to trend that this is going to not affect the continental United States, which is great news. We do expect this to stay well east of the United States. Now, is there still some things we're going to have to look at here if it takes this sort of track? Yes, we're going to still have to watch that, but I'm still in agreement that it will take this sort of track, and we are going to have to watch Bermuda here as well, but it will likely become a Category 1 hurricane by the time we go into early morning on Monday, and then by 2 a.m. on Thursday. So a pretty slow moving storm, but that's what we usually see here with tropical systems. So by 2 a.m. Thursday, we are expecting this to be well to the east of Florida and the United States here, as well to the east of the Bahamas. We could see still some minimal impact over here in the Carolinas and Georgia down here off the coast, maybe some waves, tide issues like that, but not expecting landfall or anything like that. And let's look at the European models to see why we're expecting that. So looking here on Thursday, we do have a cold front, as you can see here, coming through the northeast into the Ohio Valley. This is expected to push its way off to the east, and as it does that, we do expect this to really pick up that storm, guide that storm off to sea, and not affect the United States. Now, could this curl around in Canada or maybe far northern Maine? We're going to have to watch that, but that's way far out, so we aren't really going to have to worry about that or look at that. In future updates, I will get on that. So that about wraps up this more weather forecast video. Make sure you subscribe and go follow me on Twitter. I see all my new subscribers. Thank you guys so much for that. And again, I'll see you next one. Goodbye. But thank you to all my subscribers. We're at 500 now. It means a lot to me. Let's keep it going, and I'll see you next one. Goodbye.